What's up? So I am this is my family dog, Woody. Can you say hi? You can't see him very well here. You're on like a phone stand. There we go. Woody, say hi. I am taking him to the dog sitter. This is my parents' dog, but he's also mine. He's mine because he's so big and I love him. There's enough Moti for all of us. But I just wanted to intro with the dog since the topic is going to be not like negative, but I might rant a little bit. So yes, I'm waving the mic everywhere. I thought this would be like a good introduction. Okay, we're going to drive now. Next time you see me, he will be at the dog sitter. Oh, look at his... Okay, I'm going to open the window for him. This is not my car. In case you didn't notice, it is my parents' van. But it's massive back here because they used to camp out of it. Okay, I'm gonna roll some windows down for him. Okay, I can't put it. Look at him. Moiti, are you ready to go? Moiti, are you ready? He's so ready. He's locked in. Okay, I will see you in a bit after I drop him off. What's up? I didn't know where to put my mic, so I clipped it to my sleeve. I'm hoping that the sound is fine, but you know, I can always try and make the volume sound, or the volume more even, hopefully in editing. So the main thing I wanted to talk about today, because I've just been thinking about it, is exposure therapy and why I hate exposure therapy. Well, okay, why I hate exposure therapy. Because I have not encountered a lot of situations where people are using that term correctly. And that includes mental health professionals. So I just wanted to talk about it because, what day is it today? Tuesday. So yesterday, I was supposed to go to the dentist I have an implant, and so it's supposed to be the appointment where they do the exposure of the implant. So it's kind of gross. Actually, I won't describe it. You can look it up if you want to. But it involves numbing, which I really, really hate. And I need to get a filling fixed because part of it flaked off, which we love. And I had so much else going on that day that was just so overwhelming. And I ended up canceling the dentist appointment, mostly because I went online and I looked up what actually happens during implant exposure, and the way everyone was describing it was nothing like how my dentist described it. And I was like, I'm supposed to do this and then immediately go to work with a numb mouth, and then there's stuff at work that I was nervous about, and then there's so much going on. And so I ended up canceling the appointment. And I was thinking about, I was feeling I wasn't feeling bad, because that's definitely something that I've worked on a lot over the past few years, is not feeling bad when I am taking care of myself and my anxiety. Because, surprise, the best way to handle anxiety is not to always push yourself every single time you get anxious, because that did not do me well. But I was feeling a little bit just a little lingering voice that was why did you do that? It would have been not that bad. Why are you, I was just feeling that lingering voice of oh, that was irresponsible, and you're not I don't know, just that feeling of inadequacy. But it got me thinking about my dental anxiety and how I got to where I am, And then I started thinking about, because it really relates to exposure therapy, and I started thinking about that. And then I was like, I really want to talk about this. So basically, I have had a very, very severe dental anxiety for kind of a while. And it did not used to be as bad as it has gotten. I would say now it's been starting to get a little bit, it's trending better currently. But it was really, really bad for a while. And the reason that it got so bad was because there was a couple things. Obviously, one of them was I didn't know I was autistic, and so I didn't realize that a lot of what was making me anxious was sensory issues. Another thing is that I'm mildly allergic, or I have a bad reaction to the numbing shots they give you. They make me lightheaded, and I did not realize that was even a possibility. I just would always feel really weird and woozy, and I was like, what's going on? I think I'm dying. But the main thing is, I thought, because I had always been, the way my anxiety was dealt with by a lot of people was trying to encourage me to always do the thing that I was anxious about, and then allegedly I would be less anxious about it and that would go away. So I was just always taught that you just have to keep facing your fear and then it will go away. Which kind of like in theory, that sounds right. That's what my parents were told, even by professionals. Like, you just gotta keep getting her in this situation and I was like, this is what I have to do. I have to keep going, and I have to be an adult, and I have to keep going to the dentist, and then it'll get better. But by that point, my teeth were already kind of a mess. So I'm an adult, I'm living out of home, my teeth are really in bad shape. There was a couple things that happened. I had braces for like 8 years because my teeth really would not cooperate. And then I really struggled to brush them. I still really do. I obviously now, like, I still really struggle to brush them. I'm usually able to brush them at least once a day now, but because of a combination of autism and depression, I just could not brush my teeth most of the time. So my teeth were really bad. And I found this dentist, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be brave. I'm gonna go to the dentist. This fear is, I just need to do exposure therapy. I just need to keep going to the dentist, and eventually I'll go enough times and I'll be less anxious. I don't want this to sound like exposure therapy is bad, but there is a huge part of exposure therapy that I feel like nobody talked to me about. It was not communicated to me, and I don't always see people mention this, I guess. The main thing that's the most important thing is before and after you're doing the thing that's scary, you process it, you think about it beforehand, and then afterwards you sit and you get back to baseline and you process and you think about it, and ideally with a professional. But I don't know what that would look like because I never had that experience. I was just supposed to just keep being brave and just doing the thing. So I'm very upset, I guess, that happened, and that's the way exposure therapy was taught to me. Because what ended up happening with this dentist situation was I kept forcing myself to go, and I kept being like, okay, well, it'll be fine. I won't be that anxious. I can just get through it, and then the next time it'll be easier. What happened was, essentially, first of all, every single time I went, it was horrible because I still wasn't really addressing the things about it that were bothering me, the sensory issues and all of that. But then the other thing that was happening was every single time I went, I would sit in that chair, I'd look up at the ceiling at the stupid cloud pattern they had on the ceiling, and I would start having flashbacks to all the previous times I was in that chair and panicking. And so every time I went, the anxiety got worse and worse and worse until eventually I could not go anymore. And I had to actually, in order to get all of my teeth restored, I had to go under anesthesia twice to fix all of my teeth, like general anesthesia. Like, they intubated me because I was like, I cannot be awake for this. Like, it got so bad. So yes, I have had so much success as I don't know, an adult, or like as an independent person. I've had so much success in recent years with my anxiety when before I am like, oh, let me push myself, blah, 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 I'm focusing a lot more on trying to actually figure out how I actually feel about it. And I'm getting better at knowing when something is going to be too much versus when it's going to be helpful. So like where the line is between like pushing yourself a little bit to get a little bit out of your comfort zone versus going way away from the comfort zone and essentially like in some cases like traumatizing yourself, or just having a really bad experience that sets you back a lot. And I've figured all of this out on my own. No one around me said any of this. Everyone was just trying to get me to perform. They were trying to get me to do the thing every single time, more and more and more, to just do the things that were expected of me. And I don't know what the general consensus or like what the treatment is that most people receive for anxiety these days. I'm hoping that it's different now. But I wanted to talk about this in particular. I was diagnosed with anxiety when I was 6 or 7 years old, and I saw therapists off and on from that age until now. And until the past couple of years, nobody ever told me either of these things. Nobody told me that you need to check in with yourself and learn how to distinguish whether something is going to be too far out of your comfort zone or not. And also just not feeling shame when you're like, no, this isn't going to happen. Protect that line, like protect that boundary of like, I know what's going to be too much. Protect that without shame. The other thing that nobody said was like, exposure therapy is not helpful if you don't have that processing before and after the exposure therapy. I'm not a mental health professional, so please don't take this as like prescriptive. This is just my experience and the things that I've observed. Yeah. That's just my experience. I've had a lot of anxiety throughout my life, and it has been handled very poorly by the people around me until I became an adult and I started dealing with it myself and learning better ways to deal with it. But I wish that was more talked about. If you guys have had experiences, like I would love to hear if you guys have experiences with mental health professionals pertaining to anxiety. Like if you had an experience where they were unhelpful or they made things worse, or if you had experiences where they really were helpful, and like I'd love to hear what was helpful. But yeah, that's my rant. I'm getting actually quite warm. It's sunny outside, and I don't want to roll the windows down while I'm recording because it's going to be loud. I have my hat on so I don't get sun in my eyes, but it's very warm in this vehicle. And I've ranted enough, so I won't continue to rant y'all's ears off. But also, like, I think it's so funny when people say that when I'm like watching a vlog or I'm watching a video where like the main reason I'm watching this video is to hear you talk. Don't apologize for talking, like please keep talking. Yeah. But anyways, let me just transition into the other thing I wanted to talk about, which was I am about to do something that makes me anxious, and I would consider it to be well within the parameters of something that like it's gonna be scary, but like I'll be okay, and it will like help me in the long run. Like it will help me become, it's a muscle I need to exercise, it really is. So what I'm doing is I am not officially quitting my job yet, but I am going to be letting my manager know that I will be quitting either May 1st or May 8th. I've wanted to quit this job for a long time because it's not working for me. It was fine in the beginning, and then some things changed, and I've just been really, really, really not doing well, and just every week I'm using more energy than I can recoup, because this job involves a lot of talking and a lot of very high level masking. Like, you have to be super professional and bring up these things and specific talking points, and I just have to be so high masking all the time, which I don't want a job where I have to mask that much, because it comes home with me. Before I started this job, I was doing really well with unmasking, especially just internally, like not feeling shame for things that are just autism things. But once I started this job that involves a lot of masking, it's like I started taking it home with me. I started being like, oh, why am I doing that? Like, oh, that's weird. For things that like I wouldn't have thought that before, but I'm just still in that mindset of like, people are watching me. I need to show that I'm normal. So yes, it's a long time coming. This happens to me. I've done this with every job where I stay for much longer than I am okay with staying, and it does a lot of damage to me. Like I end up like in these horrible burnout, or like these really dark places for mental health, in my mental health, you know what I mean? And because I keep just trying to be like, but can I physically keep going? Like, can I stick it out? Because I feel like I'm supposed to stick it out. And at least with every job I've had, I've gotten better at this with each job. I've gotten better at knowing like, okay, I have to pull the plug. This is not working. So I wish I'd quit sooner, but I'm like, okay, this is as fine a time as any. And this is sooner than I would have. I would have tried to push myself harder and gotten into a worse burnout previously. So I'm proud of that. But I am very nervous. I'm trying. The reason I'm letting them know so early is because it takes an absolute eon to hire a replacement for my position, and it takes a month of training before they're even able to do the job. So, and we have someone in training right now, but it took months to get to the point where we're finally about to add another person to my job role. So I'm trying to let them know, and I feel anxious because I feel like I'm going to be expected to explain why, and I don't really want to do that, because I don't want to go into all the details of like my autism and my other things going on. I don't want to go into all of that to like explain this, to explain why I'm quitting. So that's the thing that is coming up that I'm anxious about, that I'm like, okay, I ran out of storage. So I think my phone is telling me to stop yapping. I'm nervous to talk about this. I'm gonna do it anyway. I'm gonna be here for myself. I'm gonna think about what I can do to make it less scary. I did talk to my therapist about this, and we kind of settled on like, okay, well, I don't have to give any reason at all. I can just say like, this isn't working for me. Yeah, I don't have to give a reason. And it might be weird, it might be awkward, or people are going to be sad that I'm leaving, which is uncomfortable, but I know I'm doing the right thing. I've known that this was the right thing to do for a really long time. So I believe in myself. I'm doing this for a reason, and I stand by that. I'm going to go now. But my call to action for you today, if you want one, is not think of something that scares you to do and to do it. That's not my call to action. My call to action is think of something that scares you to do and try and come up with some things that would make it less scary or less difficult or less anxiety inducing for you to do. That's my call to action. I am going to, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to go do. I'm off work today. I'm not usually off work today, but they have us rotating in on Saturdays to another location for my job. And I'm doing that for the first time this weekend, and I'm not happy about it because it's a different schedule than I'm used to. But, you know how it is. Okay, I'll see you in the next clip. Bye. What's up? I have you propped on some stuff in my front seat because, oh my gosh. Okay, I started this clip really to talk about the fact that I'm nervous for the discussion with my manager. I need to put this mic somewhere because I need my right hand. Yeah, I started this clip to talk about that, but honestly, I'm not on my best form right now because I am so stressed out because I'm late for work, and I'm always late for work. Like, literally, I feel like no matter what I do, I'm always late for work, which is very stressful. And then when I'm late, things always go wrong because I'm stressed and overstimulated. And today, I freaking bumped my head really hard on the door frame getting in the car, which, like, I don't know. It's been years since I did that, so I don't even know what's going on. It hurt though. This happens to me like every day. Every time I go to work, I'm always late. And like, there's a bunch of reasons for it. But honestly, like, at this point, that doesn't matter because I just have to focus on driving there safely. So I always am like trying to focus on like calming myself down, which unfortunately means pushing down some of the emotions I'm feeling for later. These are the little things that make it so hard for us to function, because there's so many little things that are going on that are because of autism and ADHD that just like make it really hard to function in everyday life. And when someone asks you the question like, oh, why is it so hard for you? Why are you so tired? Why can't you do ABC? It's hard to just give one answer because it would take so long to like list all the little specific ways that being disabled makes your life harder. So people need to stop asking and just accept what you tell them about your own disability, for real. But yes, anyways. Oh, the other thing is I'm stuck in a school zone, which I forgot happens on Wednesdays, so I'm definitely going to be late, which... It's funny that I am someone who hates being late so much, so it is tragic irony that I'm late every day, and I hate being late so much. I've gotten a lot better at being on time for things in my everyday life, especially because I'm so discerning about what I say yes to. I make sure I'm absolutely gonna be able to do it. Work is just that one thing that like, oh, I'm never like egregiously late. I'm usually like right on the edge where like I'm probably gonna be a minute or two late, but that really stresses me out. The angle keeps changing because my phone keeps falling over. But I'm not gonna show that because it's so like frustrating. I don't know. I've seen that in videos before and I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally getting so annoyed. This angle makes it look like I'm like taking off. Like I'm flying a spaceship. Oh, you guys, I have been playing Subnautica. I'm really into the ocean. Like, especially around the pandemic, I was so into marine biology in the ocean. And around then, like 2020, 2021 maybe, I bought Subnautica. But I have not had a computer that could run that game until this year. So this year I finally started playing it and it's so fun. I love it so much. Oh my God. I don't want to say like exactly where I am in the game because of like spoilers. I'm like kind of in the beginning, but I'm definitely like past the beginning of the game. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's very exciting. I love that game so much. It is like kind of scary, especially like when you really think about how big everything is. But I love it so much. I love the environments and I love the creatures. That's like one of the things for me in games where it's like environments. Oh, like a game could literally suck in most ways, but if I really like the environments, I'll like the game, especially if I don't actually have to play it. Like if I'm watching, I watch a lot of playthroughs. Here's an example, is Garten of Banban. What is this angle? That's fine. Garten of Banban it's not a good game. It is a terrible game, actually. But I love it so much. I like it for multiple reasons. First of all, the environments, I genuinely love the environments. Something about them, like, I don't know if it's like they feel really, they're surreal, but they feel like super real. And I don't know, just like the vast tunnels of like playground material. It's just, I don't know, I just really like it. And I really like the lore. I just feel like they're kind of just coming up with stuff, but that's like one of my favorite things, is when someone just kind of comes up with a story, just like one person or a small team just kind of come up with a story, and it's like, it almost has the vibe of just like when you're with your friends as a kid and you're just like telling stories. I don't know, I really like it. I love environments so much. There's a game called Interior Worlds, that I really like. That's, I've never played it, but there's a playthrough. I know Jacksepticeye has a playthrough. He's also the one I watched play Garten of Banban, because he really hates that game. And I feel bad, but it is really funny. And phone fell again. I feel really bad, but it's really funny, is what I'm trying to say. It's funny when, yeah. I think that's probably part of why I like that game, is I've never actually had to play it and experience the frustration of those games. But yeah, if you really like environments, I recommend Interior Worlds. I like horror games a lot, but I don't really like, a lot of the like most popular ones are based around like jump scares, and like you're kind of going around like looking for notes and stuff, and then there's jump scares. That's not really like that interesting, and I kind of don't really like jump scares that much. I'm not always in the mood for that. I really like atmospheric horror games where like they don't even need to jump scare you, because like the subject matter, the atmosphere, the characters, like it just invokes a lot. My favorite game of all time, for like literally number one is Franbo. I love that game so much. I think last year was like the 10-year anniversary of the game, and I watched it before, I started watching a playthrough of it before it was fully released. So it's been my favorite game for over 10 years. I love that game so much. But a game like Interior Worlds is I also really like, because they just kind of, it's just environments, but they just build such a good atmosphere with that game. I really like story-based games too, though. I love a story. Tell me a story. There was a game where I guess like kind of, I kind of like mascot horror, but by the time, like I don't like Poppy's Playtime for specific reasons, which I don't want to go into spoilers, but like I really do not like the direction that the story went in, and some of the mechanics, like it's just not a very good quality game. Like the graphics are good, but then a lot of there's so many bugs, and yeah, and a lot of the puzzles are just frustrating for people. By the time Poppy's Playtime came out, it was already, the mascot horror was already oversaturated, because there was so much indie horror games that's my thing. I love an indie horror game. There were so many indie mascot horror games already. Okay, let me over, you're trying to get in my lane. That by the time Poppy's Playtime came around, I was like, meh. And I don't know, a lot of mascot horror isn't that good anymore. There was, however, I really like the horror genre where it's like taking like childhood things, and usually it plays on childhood trauma. I love that so much. I love that media that has that. So there was a game it's not out yet. I think there's just a demo. This person's gonna try to pass me. I'll try to find the name of it, but it was like a really good one that it was better than a lot that I have seen in recent years. So yeah, I'll try and find the name of it and put it down, because I really liked it. There was actually the Jacksepticeye playthrough, he missed a couple things in there. So there's like different paths you can take, but there's another YouTuber I've been watching for like since I was in middle school, who did a really good playthrough of that game. But anyways, I think that's enough yapping for now. I started this clip to just check in about the fact that I'm about to go do this scary thing and talk to my manager about the fact that I'm going to be quitting in a month. I'm nervous, I'm freaking out, but I know what to do. I know why I'm doing it, and I feel confident in the decision I made. So I'm gonna go in there and do it, and it's gonna be fine. It's a completely safe thing to do. So, yes. I will check back in when I have completed the mission. Okay. See you later. Oh, also low-key, I feel like, so not to date the video, but today is it's April Fool's Day. So like low-key, I'm gonna have to go and like preface the conversation by being like, oh, by the way, this is not an April Fool's joke. I don't know. I'm not good at April Fools, so I don't even know if anyone would think that saying that would be an April Fool's joke. I don't get April Fools very much. I like to do like cute, over-the-top pranks, but like I like to do the type of prank where like you know it's a prank as soon as it's happening. You don't have to like guess about whether people are lying to you or not. I hate April Fools for that reason, because it's always like I never know if people are messing with me or not. So then I just have to guess if they're lying, and then they usually laugh at me, and yeah, you guys can probably relate to that. But anyways, let's do this. Okay, I did it. It was so not that bad. It was so not that bad. They kind of were even, oh, my giant fingers. They kind of were like expecting it. I'm sorry, I need to take a minute to just be like, my teeth look, I was just eating black licorice jelly beans. So, and they use like way more black food coloring than they need to. So now I have like a tinge. That's what that is. Anyways. Yeah, they were kind of expecting it already, because I had been like trying to float it for like a couple months at this point, just trying to like put it out there that I might do that. And so, and I had just come back from the trip I took that was to a place, an area that I want to move to. So I think they were kind of ready for it. So it was not that bad. I was very nervous, but did it anyway. And yeah. It's funny, I noticed today, this was yesterday, so I'm coming to you now from the following day, because I just went home and just kind of hibernated for the night because I was a little tuckered out. But I noticed yesterday that my instinct was, as soon as it was over, I felt this like negative feeling of like, oh, okay, God, what's the next thing? What's the next thing I have to do? And I realized like I don't often take a moment to just be like, oh, I did that. Like, I don't know, I tend to skip over it. But I did that, and there's a weight lifted off, and there's one less thing on my list. There's one less thing I have to do now. So I just wanted to take a minute to acknowledge that. Those things are worth celebrating, or just worth being like, okay, there actually is one less thing on my plate right now. Like it makes a difference. And I just tend to skip over that for some reason. But yeah, I was thinking like, oh, I should do something fun to celebrate. But honestly, for me, that is just doing what I do every single day after work, which is I just want to sit in my bed and play my game. I'm playing Subnautica right now. So I'm going to do that. And yeah, I hope that you can also do something like that today. Just whatever is the thing that you want to do right now, whatever, even if it doesn't feel like some extravagant thing, even if it's something you do every day. Yeah, I hope you get the time to do it today. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. It might be very long. Depends on how, I guess, what. It's been filmed over a couple days, so I'm like, what did I even film? But yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I hope you know that if you don't face your fears if you don't always face your fears, that's not a failure. I think that always trying to push yourself is not the answer, as I said. So yeah, and yeah, hopefully you can find something to just be like, oh, I did that. But yeah, okay, And that's all. I will see you next time. Bye.